Okay, so early this morning we had a wonderful experience of turning on those lights. Oh man, they are nice. I got literally to the end of the driveway and then around the corner, around the next corner onto the access road, probably about 400 yards from here, and I blew the lighting fuse, which is a 10 amp fuse, which means I lost the headlights, the tail lights, probably the signal lights, I didn't think to check them, and my new light. Alright, so then I got to drive home 400 yards or so in just about total darkness. Yeah. Take everything out of my pockets and then jump in the truck and get to work on time. So it worked out okay. I'm really not complaining. I'm quite, I don't know about excited, but I am quite happy that it blew there instead of 5 miles from here, because that would have been pretty awkward. Although this time of year, it was just almost on the verge of, I was thinking, you know what, I could actually ride, you know, because it was getting lighter and lighter. So by the time I got to the highway, I really didn't need the lights anyway. So it was tempting. So there's two fuses, and I got a bee buzzing around me, so if I start yelling or yipping or something. So I'm going to show, well, first of all, here's the blown fuse. Obviously, that's not a big deal, but if you've never seen a fuse blown, that one has a piece of metal that's missing, it's vaporized, and then next to it is a good fuse. I'm not sure how focused that is, that's pretty good. You can kind of see the zigzag in the middle, and on this one it's just gone. There's a chunk missing. That's how a fuse works. When it's pulling too much current, that little piece of metal can't support that much current flowing through it, and it just burns it right out. So I'm going to put it together, and then as we go together, you can kind of see where this goes. So on this one, when I took the fuse out, the fuse holder clips kind of came with the fuse. They just kind of pop loose. So you just put the fuse in there, snap it in, like so. On this one, the yellow one is the 10 amp fuse. That's the one for the lights. There's a 20 amp fuse that's like basically everything. So if you lose that, you're pretty much dead. Okay, this snaps together, and then it comes with a little rubber grommet that slides right over the top of this. So when I first looked in here, I didn't see anything that looked like a fuse holder, because it's got two fuses connected, in one holder. Now what I'm thinking, I'm really tempted to cut this thing apart, rewire it, move it somewhere that I can get to it easier, because I got to take off both side panels and then take the seat off. There's also a fuse forward, I'll show you that after maybe, for the fan. The fan has a separate fuse, but the fan is basically running through I think it's off the 20 amp fuse. So there's a 10 amp fuse for the fan. The fan is on the left hand side, but the fuse for the fan is actually on the right hand side. I'm pretty sure. I've changed one of those before, so if it's where it was on the other bike, it's on the right hand side. On a sunny day when you're not riding, not planning on going somewhere, take some time and check out the bike and find where the fuses are. This one actually had a spare fuse in this little round hole where my finger is right there. I think that shows up even. Yeah, right about here. There's a hole. The spare fuse was actually in there, so I just took it and put it in. So now I'm going to put myself a reminder on my phone. Next time I'm at a hardware store or auto parts store, I'm going to go buy some more fuses so that I have a spare for this again. Alright, in this week's episode, I bring you the bunny blasters. Heck yeah! Woo! The glass broke, or whatever that is, probably glass, and these things are just messed up. So, is that heat related? Did it get wet? I don't know. I'm glad I got a spare though. Kind of a weird setup. It's got this ballast here for probably heat dissipation, and then a pigtail, and then your actual connector, instead of the connector being right on the back. So I'll put the spare in and then go from there. I remember all of a sudden it just dropped off weird color, and that does explain it. Have I ever told you the story of Ithaca? remember. Look up zenpencils.com and Ithaca and you'll get the answer. If the big one was the bunny blaster, bunny busters? I don't know. I'll think of something. Anyway, I like it. Nice and white. Also, I got to remember that is wired hot to the battery. There's a fuse, but it's not to the key. So I got to remember to shut them off or they'll kill the battery. Same bracket as before. Shot them black. Changed my idea at the last second, so I moved them back. I had been using this hole to push everything forward. I think they fit better there, so I pulled them back a little bit. That leaves a long tail here. And once I'm satisfied with the position, I'm going to run a hole through here into the plastic and then put another bolt and nut on that, and then that'll keep it from tilting. But for now, I want to be able to tweak it a little bit. This circuit was here before. It's an inline fuse. I got a 15 in there now. But this circuit was already wired. I'd put that in earlier, and I terminated it up here. I just looped it back and taped it off because I wasn't using it right away. It was probably meant for lights like this. I just never got around to doing it. Well, when I decided not to use it, I pulled the fuse out. So on Friday when I was working on this, trying to get them to work, I found that wire. I was pretty sure I had a new wire up there, but it didn't work. So I didn't have time to mess with it, so I just didn't worry about it. So today when I found it, it took me a while to find it because it was tucked in with everything else, so it just kind of blended in. So I'm like, oh, right, I pulled the fuse out. So that's why there was no power on that wire. Had I realized that, I probably could have had the big lights working for Friday. I think this double-sided tape is probably going to do well enough. This was kind of a lucky accident. When I taped the switch to here, it's actually taped to the plexiglass part, the clear part of the windshield, I guess. Well, when I take out the screws to pull the windshield off, the switch comes with it, so that gives me a lot easier access to the terminals on the bottom of the switch. I just flip it over. So take that, and it's easy enough to hit. I could hit that with gloves on and not have to worry about it. And I think if I'm careful, I'll just reach up and hold the switch and then click it, because these switches have a lot of, it takes a pretty good push to hit them. Motorcycle! Yeah, that's good stuff. Well, there you go. Thanks for watching. Oh, it's better. Something you wouldn't normally think of. Liquid crystal gets kind of weird in the heat. This is still the end of April. I was able to pull enough heat out of it with my finger. Usually your finger warms things up. That's good. Watch out for that when you're sitting it out in the sun. Amazon, using their artificial intelligence stuff, has figured out that I like lights, and so they keep sending me reminders that they have other lights that I haven't bought yet. Like, I should buy all other lights. I'm working in that direction. But yeah, this morning, just check them, because I realized I hadn't checked them last night, I don't think. Odd, but yeah, I was going to, and then I just didn't, I guess. So yeah, I flipped them on just real quick, and then I flipped them off, and then I'm like, I realized I had seen motion, so I flipped them on, and here's a great big jackrabbit going across my driveway. Like, dude, seriously, shut the light off, you know? I'm like, yes. They instantly see bunnies. So, not quite as bright as the big one, obviously, but yeah, totally workable, and they do have a hot spot towards the middle, so I think I got them sort of with the two hot spots focused on in the same place.